My parents stole a sapphire ring from my 15-year-old daughter while she was away at summer camp, swapped in a cheap fake, and sold the real stone to bankroll my brother's honeymoon. They thought nobody would notice. They were wrong. That ring was a family heirloom, dark blue and antique gold, passed down for generations. On my daughter's birthday, my grandmother put it on her finger and said, "This ring only belongs to the one who can carry its weight." My daughter treated it like it was sacred. Before leaving for a 3-week music program, my daughter tucked the ring into a satin box on her desk and made me promise to watch it. 2 days after she left, my parents showed up uninvited. My mom beelined into my daughter's room. "I'm just looking for a book," she called. I didn't chase her. I should've. At my grandmother's birthday lunch, my daughter wore the ring again. The stone looked dull, like glass. It didn't look like the same stone. My stomach tightened, but I kept quiet. My grandmother didn't. She took my daughter's hand, tapped the stone once, and looked straight at my parents. "The ring was real," she said, "and now the stone is fake." The whole table froze. My mom's face went paper white. My daughter stared at her own hand. In the driveway afterward, I didn't even ask nicely. "You took it," I said. My mom shrugged. "We were going to replace it." "With what money?" I asked. She snapped. "Your brother deserved a nice honeymoon. They didn't steal to survive. They stole because my brother wanted beach photos and my parents still treated him like the son, and they expected me to nod along." The next morning, I told my grandmother everything. I watched her jaw tighten. She asked, "Do they think I'm dead already?" Then she handed me the ring's certification and a note. If anything happens, it wasn't an accident. That night, she demanded everyone come over. My parents arrived first, smiling too hard, my mom carrying a pie like a bribe. My daughter sat beside me, still confused. My grandmother pointed at her hand. "Give me the ring." My daughter slid it off. My grandmother held the ring up to the light, then set it on the table. Then she faced my parents. "You stole from a child," she said. My dad opened his mouth. She cut him off. "You sold our legacy for a vacation." My brother flushed, and his new wife stared at her lap. My grandmother nodded once. She reached under the table. She pulled out a thick folder. She slid it across the wood toward my parents. The papers stopped in front of my dad's hands. My mom's little laugh collapsed. My grandmother said, "The deed is still in my name." Then she added, "You have 30 days to move out." My parents tried every script: borrowing, misunderstanding, family doesn't do this to family. Family also doesn't steal from children, my grandmother said. They spent the next week calling me a manipulator. Then my grandmother went to the jeweler who bought the sapphire. He tried to play dumb until she laid printed texts on the counter. His name, the date, the price. "You have 24 hours, she said, "or I tell the police you bought stolen property." He cracked. The stone had been sold to a private collector in New Jersey. The collector agreed to sell it back, but for a brutal markup. My grandmother didn't hesitate. "Fine," she said. "Book the meeting." When my parents heard we were fixing their mess, they showed up screaming on my grandmother's porch, acting like victims. My dad actually said, "We didn't think anyone would notice." My grandmother's voice went ice cold. "You didn't think anyone would notice because you never believed anyone else mattered." She handed them the official eviction notice and locked the door. The night before the trip, my brother showed up alone, finally looking ashamed. "I didn't know," he said. "Not until after the honeymoon. He told me he'd moved out and left our parents the keys. I told him to leave." In New Jersey, the collector took the money and handed it over. When my grandmother placed the sapphire back in my daughter's palm, my kid didn't cry. She just closed her fist around it. "I don't want them near me ever again," she said. "Me neither," I answered. My parents ended up couch surfing with relatives. My grandmother updated her folder with one final note: paid for. Never again. The ring sits in my daughter's drawer now, waiting for a day she feels strong enough to wear it. What would you do if your own parents stole from your kid, cut them off, or try to keep the peace? I'm genuinely curious. Drop your take.